Hello and welcome to Colourful the post-truth apocalypse. I'm Ben, as always, hanging out with Mike.
Hello.
Claire.
Hey.
And Pete.
Hello.
Coming to you pre-recorded from Mike's Telford flat. Hey. And this week, I think what is possibly our most metal-sounding episode of all time. Gods of Death.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah. Gods of Death. Yeah. I thought let's have a bit of a mythology episode. And every culture has got a god of death, or several gods of death in some cases.
Apart from Christianity.
Jesus is technically a sacrifice, and God certainly the upstart.
He is a god of death.
That little Yahweh who managed to upstage all these other gods and become a pretty big player. He was just as horrible as anybody else. But these guys aren't nasty. They're not killing people. They're caring for you after you're dead, or punishing you, one or the other. Mm-hmm. But anyway, let's thank some of the returning listeners, then we'll get into it. Where shall I start on this list? Zongudak. Tunisia?
Probably not the best place to start.
Turkey.
Oh, yes.
Similar flag. Do apologise. Telford in the UK. I'm going to go attack now. Is that Peru?
It is.
Hey! Santiago de los Caballeros. I don't know whether Ecuador. No, it's not Ecuador.
I was going to say, I don't think
Panama.
None of us are getting that flag right, I don't
Dominican
think.
Republic.
Oh, man.
Is it? You fucking geek.
Oh, I was going to want to know. Preston.
You looked at this before, hadn't you? You'd obviously done a quick search.
No, Mike has this weird thing for flags.
Like Sheldon.
I was going to say Sheldon.
It's playing Champa, you see,
What's your new
international
nickname?
manager.
In a past life, he was like a Napoleonic naval officer. He used to read the flags. That was his thing. Semaphore.
That's funny.
Lisbon in Portugal, Herne Bay in the UK, Frankfurt in Germany, Brooklyn in America, Arklow in Ireland and Athens in Greece, Los Angeles in the US, Guadalajara, Spain and Ashburn, Virginia. I know that's in Virginia.
Much
in
Wenlock
the US.
as well, up the road.
Was it Much Wenlock? I missed Much Wenlock.
Yeah,
Fucking hell. Thought that would count as Telford.
Should we just say a quick RIP? I think we need
Oh,
to.
go on, Pete. Who's died this week, Pete?
I am like...
It was a obituary, you've been scared.
I'm like the podcast member of the,
You are the
God of Death.
You're pretty much the fucking Grim Reaper in all fairness.
You've been scanning the obituaries.
He was a sir, wasn't he? No. No, he wasn't. He should have been, though. Terry Venables, absolute legend.
England football manager.
Only for a couple of years, surprisingly, though. You'd think he'd done a lot longer.
He did a bit of dodgy business dealings, didn't he?
The money was just resting in my account.
Almost.
And he was sort of forced to resign.
He almost took England to a win in the World Cup, though, wasn't it?
Euros.
Sorry, Euro
It
96.
was Euro 96. It was the first proper tournament I was old enough to actually watch and follow properly.
Yeah.
And so for people of our era, then he was a legend because we nearly won Euro 96 and we had some great moments in that tournament.
Yeah.
But a lot of people have said he was one of the greatest managers that we'd ever had. As
he's up there, yeah.
He's up there. He's up there as a manager.
Not quite a Cluffy, but he's up there.
Yeah. But either way, R.I.P. Terry Venables.
LTL, rest in peace.
Yeah.
R.I.P.D. Right. Well, maybe Terry Venables might have been shepherded across the Great Valley by Anubis.
Maybe.
I don't know. We don't know what Eltel's religious beliefs were, but if he was worshipping the Egyptian gods,
he could believe one thing, but that could actually be true.
Well, this is the beauty of this. Is like we've got, we're only Christians because Christianity spread really quickly and through Europe, and we ended up as Christians.
Whoa! None of us are actually Christians. Just get that one straight.
Oh no, but Christianity as a whole,
yes,
it supplanted all these other fascinating religions with their many gods for just this this one god that's three. And you're like, well, what if this is true though? What if Anubis is the truth?
Who knows, because we don't know, do we? We don't know where you go after death.
Never know, will we?
Well, we will once we die. But we can't go back and share it.
And that's the issue, isn't it? We're obsessed with it.
Of course.
Death and sex. Basically, that's the human mind is obsessed with, death and sex, which is
When they're combined.
when you combine, that's unethical.
That's necrophilia. I'm going to throw in food within that mix.
Yeah, I was
though.
thinking food
Food's
as well.
definitely in there.
Food,
sex.
death and sex.
Food, sex, then death, maybe. Go in that order.
You know, still, it's in there. It's always been in there. Like, nowadays, we don't really speak of it as a society. It's one of them hush-hush things like, oh, do you hear so-and-so's died? Like Pete every week. But...
No, I don't die every week.
No,
I'm
no.
not Kenny.
He just knows that someone's died every week. You know, so it's... Oh, it's crazy because you don't talk about it, but we talk about sex more, and I go back 200 years and flip that.
It's complete opposite.
People talked about death more because it was you had 7 kids and 4 of them lived. Or 3 of them lived, yeah, well, you know what I'm
They'd
saying.
have a good hanging as well, wouldn't
You'd
they?
have a good hanging. A public day out for the hanging.
Or a witch burning.
Bit too late for that. But they
Never
wouldn't.
too late for a good witch burning.
But they wouldn't have spoke about banging,
Nope.
about ploughing the field.
They would have spoken about that a lot, to be fair.
Well, maybe like but they spoke about so and so's dead. He won't be in tonight. You can have his seat.
I bet there was quite, over a few ales, there was quite the rude talk.
It probably would have been.
Well, it wasn't. No.
No, if you got
Like
200,
society.
200
Talking
years,
the
yeah.
Victorian age, you never spoke of it. Couldn't show your ankles, could you, and shit like that.
it was the maritals and that was it. You know, you did your duty in bed as well as a husband or wife. Terrible time, really, for women.
Yeah.
Great time for blokes.
Well, I'm not going to deny that.
It was it, but was
Comparatively.
Apart from going to war in some African country and coming back with dengue fever.
Yeah,
Not
that's
just
shit.
that, all the other illnesses that
But-
used to run through everybody all the time and live to 40 if they were old.
Surely men are more sexually liberated these days as well as women, don't you think?
No, I don't know. Men used to just shag everything and anything, didn't they?
You'd
Going back
you'd
into
be
history.
married, you'd have several mistresses, they don't know about each other, they all accepted the situation, you just, give them their upkeep.
Visit the local prostitutes.
Yeah. It's part of the night out, that was. Brandy and cigars in the gentleman's club, then on to one of London's finest brothels. If you're the upper crust, of course. If not, you're banging a penny whore down Whitechapel. Anyway, I digress. Anubis, the god with the head of a jackal, is associated with mummification and death in ancient Egypt. I love that. I subscribe to the Stargate theory, by the way, guys, that all the Egyptian gods were just like typed spacemen with cool ass helmets.
Okay.
Is there anything else to think?
Literally the Stargate
We
theory,
don't know,
yeah.
do we? They could be.
Do you know what? I think there is a lot of... I've always... Ever since I watched that film, which I absolutely fucking loved, wasn't the biggest fan of the series,
No, I'm with you on that.
but I loved the film.
Film was it?
The
Yeah.
film was brilliant.
Yeah,
it
film
was
goes.
next level. It really was. It was like it was something completely new as well at that point. It was a completely new concept, wasn't it? Graphics, everything. It was really good. But
All right.
I do think there was a lot of truth in it. Hidden truth.
There's rumours American forces removed a Stargate from Baghdad in after the 2003 invasion.
There's been a lot of rumours about
I think Saddam would have used that,
Stargates.
wouldn't you?
Apparently he did.
Did he?
Yeah.
It didn't work for
No,
him,
it
did
didn't. No.
But there's been a lot of Stargates found or apparently found and things like that, hasn't there, over time, or what they believe could have been a Stargate. But I don't know. You never know. That seems like a very. It was like I said. We've always said that the pyramids maybe weren't built by us.
I subscribe to the fact they were. I think me and Claire did, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. We did a.
We did
a
the
podcast
ancient-
on it.
Yeah, I think you were here for that. I think you were.
No, I think it was just before we.
Oh, maybe. Oh, me and Claire go for the theory that we weren't that dumb and we can build pyramids.
I think it's not
I
about.
went for that
dumb.
as well, thank you.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. I didn't believe in the aliens, did I?
I thought you might have.
Well, I was on the fence, obviously,
Yeah.
but leaning more towards the...
But I'd always thought maybe it was shedding a bit of truth on what we've always thought. Like, oh, maybe these pyramids were extraterrestrial in some form, whether it was the help being made or
I
they
think-
were like they were made by them, or who knows?
Or for them.
I
Or
think
for them.
maybe we built them, but
For them.
For them, possibly.
Yeah, that's another theory.
I just always thought there was a lot of hidden truths in there, that was all.
The pyramids are older than. Hang on, let me get this right. Cleopatra.
I told you this, you
I
fucker.
fucking fucked it up, haven't I? Go on,
Yeah,
then, you say.
basically we think of Cleopatra being like, it's ancient history, isn't it? We're talking over 2,000 years ago, time of Caesar. But the pyramids and the Sphinx were ancient to her.
Well, they were like 4,000, 5,000
to
years
the point
ago,
where
weren't they?
she sent like teams of scholars to go and look at them and try and get in them and everything. Work out the secrets. So they were ancient to her. That's crazy. They're like 4,000 years old. Who's to say what was going on at that point? Maybe Anubis and his boys were rocking around ancient Egypt, teaching us the ways of civilization. He's typically portrayed as half human and half jackal or dog. It's his job to make sure to decide where you go after you die, basically. For that, he will remove your heart. But you're already dead, so it's okay. You don't feel it. Right? So he removes your heart, and he places on a scale and a feather. And if they balance out, you've been a good person. Off you fuck to paradise.
against a feather.
Yeah. Against purity, how pure is your heart?
Ah, okay.
So the darker you are, the heavier your heart is, and that's it. You
No,
go
it's
to hell.
just it just looks like a heart. It's just it's just the weight.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Same. The
I
darker.
don't think the colour has a.
I wasn't.
Oh.
I wasn't giving any colour
No.
specifics. I was saying I was being metaphorical. To
All
be
right, I was
honest,
thinking someone who had like me, whose heart's probably black with from smoking. Not emotional disconnection at all. It's not black because of that.
Bit unfair though, isn't it, weighing against a feather?
Well, it's a bit bullshit anyway, so I wouldn't worry yourself about it.
How do you know?
You don't know, do you? There could be.
If you die and you see Anubis, you'll be
Standing there
like,
with a feather, you're going to shoot
you'll be like,
yourself.
oh fuck.
God, this doesn't mean that I'm unpure. I'm sure he can talk his way out
There's
of
no
it,
arguing.
can't
No, sorry, there's no arguing with the jackal-headed god.
Like Claire said, I'll talk my way out of it one way or
I
another.
don't think he allows himself to be swayed too much.
He's not met me yet. Often been told I got gift of the gab.
Oh, well, let's go to the Norse. Let's do some Western Europe. Freya.
My dog's name. My dog was named after her.
Well, the Viking goddess.
Yeah, goddess of destruction and fucking all sorts of nasties, but she's
Well-
crazy.
Typically associated with fertility and abundance, she's also known as a goddess of war and battle. I guess it balances out. You know?
Die,
Fertility-
have children.
Yeah. The survivors come back, fuck like crazy, gather the harvest, another war.
It's a
Those
cycle
that
of life, isn't it?
Those that have died get replaced by the babbies.
You need death to be able to bring life, don't you?
Otherwise, the world would be overpopulated, wouldn't it? So,
Yeah? Half of the men who died in battle joined Freya in her hall, Folkvanger. Norse pronunciation throws me all the time. It's why we've never done a Norse mythology episode.
it's my choice next week. That is.
Shit. And the other half joined Odin in Valhalla. Venerated by women, heroes and rulers alike, Freya could be called upon for assistance in childbirth and conception, to aid with marital problems, or to bestow fruitfulness upon the land and sea. She's a bit of a mixed bag, isn't she?
Is she a
Yeah.
fluffer?
She might be a fluffer.
What?
AIDS conception.
I think
You got
I
brewer's truth.
he just gives you a fluff. The hand
I
job
need-
from a goddess.
Yes.
I've never heard that before. Fluffer.
I'm not.
That's what they have on porn
Porn
sets to keep the men
sets.
semi.
Right.
Someone will go round and just wank them. I don't know why I'm doing the motion.
You've obviously done the job before.
Pays well. Found out the other day it's 35 quid a sperm donation.
Oh,
Is it?
don't even
It's-
think about
It
it.
certainly is. You can do 2 a day.
We don't want little Ben's running about, do we?
There's 2 a day, and
Millions
there's 2 clinics within 25 miles of here.
Not with that though.
I just knocked that on the head. Oh, if I was to partake in that kind of thing, I'd knock it on the head and go and wank twice a day for 70 quid.
Yeah, fuck working. Just go have 2 wanks.
You just got to have 2 wanks a day and it's 70 quid a day.
How much will they want?
Loads of couples are crying out for sperm. I could be a god of life.
Oh, fuck me.
Oh no. We'll contact all the sperm banks within the vicinity. We'll
Do not accept sperm from this man.
Trust me, you don't want his spawn coming along.
Be like Damien. Only wank during thunderstorms.
We don't want any more little mini Churchills running around, thank you very much.
Dashing man, Churchill. So yeah, Freya. Vikings. You gotta love a bit of Norse mythology. You really have. It's crazy. It's crazy as fuck. It's probably possibly the craziest. Because Loki fucks everything.
Yeah.
Man, woman or beast, he fucks everything. Hades. Yeah.
One of the more famous ones.
Of course he is, the ancient
Definitely.
Greek. Zeus became king of Olympus, his brother Poseidon won domain over the sea, and Hades got stuck with the land of the underworld. He decided to have a bet. Rock, paper, scissors, effectively.
I've always thought with Hades, does it kind of... It tells you... Was Hades just the devil?
No, he was quite a... But he took his job seriously. He ruled... Yeah, okay, it depends which bit of the Greek underworld you were in. But he ruled over you all fairly. If you're in the punishment bit, you're getting punished. But if you're in the Elysian fields, you're having a great time.
My point is he basically the devil of them times? Because then the devil came along, Hades is... Because it's still... The underworld is what we now would class as hell. Is that correct, or what? That's the way I've always interpreted
There was
that.
several levels to the Greek underworld. One of them could be considered like a hell. One was like a middling bit. A bit like purgatory, where nothing really much happened, but it was neither good nor bad. And then you had the Elysian fields, which were like the heaven, effectively. Hades, he's actually seen as being quite a good god. He's not seen as a god of, I'm going to strike you down. He just rules the underworld and he does his job. You know, he's got Cerberus to help him if anyone escapes, a three-headed dog. Cerby.
Aww.
And, you know, the ferryman takes you over. You give him the gold coin, which is why in Greek tradition you get buried, the gold coins on your eyes, or in your palm at least.
Over the river Styx.
Over the river Styx.
Payment.
Yeah. When my nan passed away, I put £1 in the coffin. She's in the United States. I did, yeah. Put £1 in her hand. Pay the ferryman, just in case. You never know, do you?
I reckon it'd be a lot more than £1.
And there wasn't a gold coin. It's the best I've got.
He'd took one bite and gone, well,
This is
straight to hell with this one then.
This is mostly tin. Yeah, but who knows?
You might have doomed your nan, mate. Fucking
Yeah,
hell,
she was alright.
dude.
She had a bit of a racist start, but she was alright. She was a very lovely woman. She just obviously had the attitudes of her time. She was born in the 20s, for fuck's sake. You know, we had an empire then. Attitudes change. Hell, another Norse one. Hell, everyone's seen Thor 3, haven't they? I think I made Mike watch it. I think we did watch it. I made you watch it. He doesn't like Marvel films.
I can't say I'm a fan, to be honest.
I think I've watched them all.
Been oversaturated anyway, isn't it?
100%.
Oh God, especially now.
But they are all enjoyable to watch. You don't have to think the storylines are amazing. Lots of cool
all
action.
the storylines are the same, aren't they?
Lots of cool action. Lots of hot women in very tight
Especially
suits.
Captain
It's just
America
great.
and all that lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't like that.
So
Wonder Woman.
I prefer DC. I'd rather have Wonder Woman over any of them. But you'll know Hell from Thor.
Yeah.
Anyway, is my point. The goddess of the ruler. This goddess is the ruler of the underworld in Norse mythology. Her whore is called. I'm not going to try and pronounce that. Elgunir, I think, is possibly the best I'm going to get. And is where mortals go to not die in battle, but of natural causes or sickness. Hell is often depicted with her bones on the outside of her body rather than the inside.
Interesting.
That's pretty fucking metal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Typically portrayed in black and white, as well as showing she represents both sides of all spectrums. And she is the daughter of Loki, who's also got a wolf. The Apocalypse Wolf is Loki's kid. The serpent that circles the globe, I can't remember what it's called now. It's got a name in Norse mythology. That's also one of Loki's kids. Loki will fuck anything. Believed her name is the source of the English word hell because of her connection to the underworld.
Is
Pretty-
she a goddess?
Yeah.
She's a Chinese goddess of death, Meng Po.
She looks like a real woman to me.
She appears as an old woman. There's a
Oh
stock
right, so
photo.
that's not actually her.
No.
Well, this is what I was wondering. All the others have been pictures of the person.
Yeah, she's the only got a death that turns up for a photo
The
shoot.
others had been artistic drawings and interpretations
Yeah.
of what they might look
Well,
like.
you see, I thought they
This is a
actually found.
photograph of an old woman.
I thought they'd found one. Like we found an actual goddess. Here she is, Meng Po.
Well, that's the point. She just appears as an old woman, and she may look like your next door neighbour, and it's her job is to make sure that the souls about to be reincarnated do not recall their previous time on Earth. She brews a special herbal tea of forgetfulness, which is given to each soul before they return to the mortal realm. That's nice, isn't it? Have this. You won't remember your past life. You're off to your next one.
It reminds me of
That's the
Oracle.
belief in that. Then it's reincarnation. Then basically.
Yeah.
Kind of sounds like the Oracle out of the Matrix.
Yes. She does a bit. She's got cookies.
Cookies instead of tea.
Yeah. My God, I think you might have actually twigged something there, Mike. That's pretty cool.
Maybe.
Is that what the oracle was then?
Well, it certainly ties in, doesn't it? If you think about it, there's a good chance she's based on the Chinese goddess of death.
Meng
Possibly.
Po. It's quite an interesting one. I've never heard of Meng Po before.
Yeah, it's a good. I like that one. It's nice. It's that one's light and fluffy.
Yeah, it is. It's definitely the lightest and fluffiest so far.
Yeah. Morrigan from the Celtic beliefs.
Oh, this will be a fucked up
I
god,
think
won't
Meng
it?
Po fried rice, light and fluffy.
Maybe that's where the name comes from. By the time you've eaten the rice, you've already forgotten the sex.
I think it's Kung Po.
I know, yeah, but I'm just taking the piss.
Yeah.
You know?
Next time you go to a Chinese restaurant, don't actually
Don't
ask
the
for the
Meng
Meng Po.
You know she's going to now, and then
I'll
they're
take
going to
you
look
to-
at her horrified.
They'll take you into a back room and with an
Show
old
you to
woman with a cup
show
of
you to
tea,
their
and
mum.
then they'll just slit your throat.
And then you end up with the Chinese.
You become the Meng Po.
You become the crispy chicken balls.
Well, Morrigan, the Celtic goddess, is associated with death in a way much like the Norse goddess Freya. She's known as the Washer at the Ford, and it is she who determines which warriors walk off the battlefield and which ones are carried away on their shields. Oh yeah. She's represented in many legends by a trio of ravens, often seen as a symbol of death in later Irish folklore. Her role will be delegated to the Banshee, who foresaw the death of members of a specific family or clan.
They liked their banshees, didn't they?
They love a banshee.
Scots and the Irish fucking love a banshee.
So you have the Hindu one, Yama.
Yama, yama, yama,
In
yama,
the
yama.
Well, in the ancient Hindu Vedic tradition, I apologise, Yama, for Pete's blasphemy, if you're listening.
I swear that's what Hightower was fucking singing in the back of the truck when he's pretending to be
Are
a...
you basing your knowledge of Hinduism from a police academy movie?
Yep. It's the only time I've ever heard Yama before. So that's the only...
Well, he was the first mortal to die and make his way to the next world, and so he was appointed King of the Dead. He could be a complete imbecile. He's the first dude to die, gets the job. That's a terrible way of doing things. Sorry, Hinduism.
Wasn't the first dude to have died surely have been Adam?
Not in the Hindu belief, clearly.
It doesn't matter whether they believe it or not. Life began with one man.
Only in the Christian faith.
Oh.
Well, okay, yeah, woman first, actually, to be fair.
I don't know.
Eve came before Adam.
Did she?
Yeah, I thought they figured that one out.
Oh, God.
I always thought Adam came first.
Oh, it's nearly as fucked up as the egg and the chicken.
Oh.
Yeah, God made Eve out of his rib, didn't he?
Yeah, we're not talking about religion, we're talking science here. There was an Eve before there was an Adam.
Oh, right, got you.
Because who would have given birth to the Adam?
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
was it not just
chicken
a
in the
monkey?
egg. The first thing is the egg.
Yeah, but in this scenario,
What
it's
laid
not.
the egg?
Proto-chicken.
Proto Eve.
Yeah, but Adam wasn't Adam was created.
Let's not
Yeah, in the
get,
Bible,
Yeah,
in the Bible, yeah.
let's not get in this rabbit
Right,
hole
yeah,
of a
yeah,
fucking
yeah.
topic.
Either way, I still think being the first dude to die should not qualify you as being king of the dead.
No.
Definitely not.
Because you're the first one to die.
Yeah.
No, alright, we don't
Unless
know...
unless he's lived to an old
Unless
age.
he's lived to like 100.
Yeah.
But at the same time,
It doesn't mean he's clever, though.
No,
For
not
the
if
fir-
he tried to eat bees.
That's how he
But-
died.
but for the first guy that died,
Yeah.
how fucking cool is that?
Yeah!
Like, what's happened to me? Because he wouldn't even understand the concept of death if he's the first man to
Yeah.
die.
Yeah.
He's just like, what the fuck's happened to me?
One minute I was eating them bees, next minute.
Well, I'm unfortunate to say you have just died, which means you've ceased to live. Okay, but you are now king of the fucking dead.
Oh, yeah!
Oh, yeah, baby. You know what I mean? It's a win-win for
Right, he
him,
wouldn't
isn't
even know
it?
what heaven is, so he'd just be like, yeah.
Yeah, he's just gonna walk
It's
around,
like-
just like touching people, going, "Ciao,
Oh.
ciao, die."
Or it's like that job you turn up for, claiming that you know what you're doing, and then they give you the test, and you're like, oh, they go, okay, then you know exactly what you're doing. Off you go.
But
And
it's
you haven't
you're
got a-
proficient
And
at
you haven't
riding
got
horses.
a fucking clue, and you have to figure it out as you go along on your own.
Or he's actually is just king of the dead, and when they arrive, they're dead. So there's just like dead bodies as far as the eye can see, and he's just
He's
stood
just
there
stacking
in
them
the
up.
I am the king of you.
middle. He's on a little forklift truck.
He's made a
This is
cat's
shit.
load of bodies.
I wish I'd never eaten them fucking bees now.
I knew I should have let fucking Dave have the bees.
I had to go in first.
He said no, the honey, but I didn't believe him.
So the Roman one, basically Pluto is ripped off Hades. Although it's weird that Disney would name a cartoon dog after the god of death.
Oh, we weren't talking about the dog. Oh, sorry. Forgive my impression then, please.
He's even got the three-headed dog. You know, the Romans just nicked all the Greek gods. That's what it boils down to. They
Very
just
much
renamed them.
He is a bit wimpy though, that Cerberus attempt, isn't it?
It's not the hellhound I was expecting. No.
Oh, I was imagining a three-headed Frenchie.
Well, let's scroll
That
up
might
and
as
get
well
to the
have
statue.
been
No, it's
look.
yeah, it's more of a
Don't
Whip it.
pinch you.
there's a bit of a dome look about it.
Greyhound sort of head on it.
whippet kind of head.
Three.
I'm not impressed with it.
It's a three-headed whippet. Look at the size of it. It's only knee height.
It's gonna chase people.
It's a three-headed fucking whippet. It'll have a heart attack by the time it's 6. It's dead. Boom. Gone. That's what whippets, man. They don't live long, honestly.
When I
Poor
imagine
little
that,
things.
that three-headed dog, it's got to be like a Frenchie for cuteness, or it's got to be like a cane
Like a
Corso
bull mastiff or
yeah,
something.
something
I
real.
always picture a Rottie. It's cute,
Yeah, anything
yet
like that.
dangerous.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a bit too cute.
It's like you'd let your fuss in, but the second you tried to escape, that's it.
See, I'd say the one in Harry Potter's a Rottie.
Yeah.
Three-headed Rottie. But
Yeah.
it's just black in him.
So Pluto, he's got a well-oiled approach. He meets a boatload of freshly deceased on the banks of the river Styx. That's the river that forms the boundary between Earth and the underworld. And then as every person steps off the vessel, Pluto puts them in chains. Because he's kinky. Once everyone's chained up, he takes them somewhere else to be judged. And this process is kind of like a machine that separates the good eggs from the bad. Those who enjoyed sinful lives are cast into a torturous realm called Tartarus, where the good guys are dropped off in the Elysian fields where they can be blissful forever. It's the Greek one. It's exactly the same, they just renamed him.
Yeah. It's funny, isn't it?
Although he does get a helmet of invisibility.
That's useful, isn't it?
That's
So no one
handy.
can ever see him.
That'd be convenient.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Maybe they've all got helmets of invisibility. That's what it is, isn't it?
Maybe. Kali's a big one. Hindu god of death. She does death, deity, doomsday, time, violence, sexuality, female energy, and she's a mother figure married to Shiva.
So she's a lot like Freya then, really.
You notice there's a lot of similarities between, especially the female gods, really, isn't it? Like,
Well-
they're all like death and fertility.
Death, violence, that's war, isn't it, yeah? In them days, more than anything. So yeah, she's just Freya. But in Hindu.
She's also a feared warrior in Hindu mythology, and she has a terrifying appearance. Despite the gore draped over her body, the death deity is irresistible to other deities and men alike. And no one seems to care about the knife in her hand. Ah.
So what's scary about her?
She's got loads of gore draped over her body. She's carrying knives.
Bloody knife, it says.
Bloody knives.
Meh.
You know, she's probably wearing someone's head as a hat.
Dealt with worse women, to be fair.
She's got a necklace made of heads.
Ooh.
That's a bit predator-like, isn't
And
it?
she wears dead children as earrings. So
That's pretty terrible.
Yeah, the tutu is a skirt of human arms.
Oh, children as earrings.
yeah, that'd freak you out, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Children
What's
as
scary
earrings.
about that?
Yeah.
Children, at least turn them into bracelets. You know, show some class.
I bet she's got a nipple belt. Either way, she's pretty nasty.
Yeah, she's a bit of a bitch, really.
Yeah, you could say that. Apuk, the Mayan god of death. So you know this one should be fairly bloody. The Mayans. We've got an Aztec one
Yeah.
coming up in a bit. Obviously one of several death gods in Mesoamerica. He stood out for his cruelty. They're very similar with Anubis in the sense that they work with human souls, but Apuk doesn't have a fair bone in his decaying skeletal body, and he was blamed in Mesoamerica for death and disease, and people feared him because he'd specifically target the vulnerable.
Bit of a cunt, isn't he?
Doesn't he? Sounds like a Tory MP.
Yeah.
Sounds like COVID.
And he wears a necklace of eyeballs. Like a Tory MP.
I believe they are trying to get it phased out of Parliament, but
Ian
laws take
Duncan
time.
Smith, will, he just keeps denying it.
And Jimmy Savile as well. I mean, he used to have that glass eye necklace, didn't he?
Yeah.
Taken from a corpse.
Was it?
Yeah, wore it on telly.
Yeah.
He wore it for his retirement, top of the pops. Yeah, it was grim.
Weird.
So, but being killed by Apuk was just the start. Once he grabbed a human soul, he'd burn them until they screamed in agony, and just to prolong the torture, he'd kill the fire with water and then torch them again.
Oh my god.
This would go on until the soul was completely destroyed. That's a bit grimdark, isn't it?
It certainly is, isn't it?
You don't want to meet him down a dark alley.
No, give me the old woman with a cup of tea any day.
Oh, yeah, that'd be the win, wouldn't it?
Rather than burned alive and then burned alive again and again.
I'm not quite sure how to pronounce this name because I've tried to listen to people saying it and everyone pronounces it differently. But it's the Aztec god Mictlantecuhtli, I think. He tried to prevent Quetzalcoatl from making the first humans. I can say Quetzalcoatl. I get that one. So we're going to call him Mickey.
Yeah. Mickey.
He's insisting there's no paradise for those meandering things called humans, and he's already angry because he failed to stop the god Quetzalcoatl from making the first Aztecs. And now all these other gods believing in the heavens and levels of paradise is just annoying him. He doesn't like all these other gods. These humans worshipping them. The Aztecs never had the staircase to heaven. They just believed that after death everyone descended in the underworld. At the end of a 4-year journey, their fate was extinction in a 9th and deepest layer called Mictlan. That's pretty... The Aztecs weren't a cheerful people, were they?
weren't.
I mean, like, there's no heaven. How many people are they killing a day? Like 1,500
They
people?
love chopping heads off, didn't they?
They love ripping hearts out and all.
We're only going to get the gory bits, though, aren't we? You know, we don't know what it was like day in, day out. Maybe they had, like, you know, nice peaceful lives.
Maybe when it first began, towards the end, there was a lot of like, famine, disease.
Well,
these
because
crops
they were
and
throwing the
things.
fucking bodies into the drinking water didn't help. Oh, that's the Mayans, actually. That's it. They reckon the Mayans disappeared. The Aztecs obviously got taken out by the Spanish. I mean, what's the greatest feat of a military audacity ever attempted by man?
Didn't they just die by illness more than anything?
A lot of them died from
Yeah.
smallpox and that,
Yeah.
but if you go back just before the Spanish rocked up, they wouldn't kill in battle, they took prisoners to sacrifice. I've heard figures at like 1,500 people a day to make sure the sun came up the next day. Hearts out, on top of the temple, roll the body down the steps again, next one up. With a stone knife, ripping the heart
Why
out.
didn't they just give it a go once? Just like, well, let's see what happens if we don't sacrifice them all.
You can't take that chance.
Let's just give it a go. Go on.
No, you can't take that chance.
Ridiculous, isn't it? Because if only they hadn't done that, then someone would have come up the next day and gone, oh, okay, we made a bit of a doozy, Dave.
A bit of a boo-boo here. We may want to get all them bodies away.
Boss, you know that sun thing? Yeah, those thousands, yeah.
But they weren't prepared to take that chance. That's it, innit?
So in a way, it's lucky the Spanish did come and wipe them out.
Oh, is it?
I wouldn't say it was lucky.
I mean, it wasn't lucky for them.
No, but for all the other poor buggers that they were killing every day.
Well, this
yeah.
is why the Aztecs, the Spanish actually managed it, because all the tribes that were around the Aztecs who were raided by them
They were happy to help.
they were really happy to help take them down, which is why he turned up with 150 dudes and ended up with many more thousands of guys under his command. But still, necklace of eyeballs, bone earrings, and a hat that looks like a traffic cone.
That's his laddish side, is it?
Maman Brigitte, Haitian and voodoo death god.
Ooh.
So, Maman Brigitte, realms, cemeteries, death, healing, women, fertility and motherhood, and she's the consort of Baron Samedi. The goddess is fond of pepper-laced rum, which is often given to her by her followers.
See, I know Baron Samedi from the old board games. I think, was it called Nightmare? Anybody remember them? With the videotape?
No. Oh, the TV show Nightmare.
No. It was like a horror board game, and you watch the tape, and it'd tell you to do things like on the tape and that, and you'd have to go up close to him, and he'd try and make you jump. It was
No,
quite,
no.
I think it was called Nightmare or something like that.
It sounds
really
like the old.
good.
Sounds like the old bloody
Nothing like that,
kids show.
but that was ace. I always wanted to go on it.
Yeah. So, Maman Brigitte, the goddess of death in the voodoo religion and one of the most revered in her pantheon. She's also the only white-skinned deity, since her roots lie in the Celtic deity Brigid, which is interesting. It's crossing over. She's known for her salty language when angry, her powerful healing abilities, and as a protector of women. And interestingly, she's a goddess of death because she ends life to ease suffering, not to frighten her followers. She is a divine judge. She can cure STDs and infuses clothing with her healing powers.
Quality.
And she'll also guard tombs in exchange for rum.
Quality?
She's probably my favourite.
Yeah, mine too. I like her.
She appears as a giant snake as well.
That's pretty handy. And she's hanging around with some dude called the Baron, who presumably wears a top hat.
She can cure your claps, so.
She can get rid of them genital warts.
Very handy.
It's very handy. It's a handy trick to have. Although the Grim Reaper is not technically a god of death, I think we should give him an honourable mention.
Kind of is in a way, isn't he?
He's more of a sort of shepherd. He's the boatman, isn't he, effectively? He doesn't kill you, he's there to shuffle you along.
Shuffle you along.
Shuffle you off the mortal coil.
He's not part of Christianity, though, is he?
No, he comes from the 14th century. You know, the 14th century was the worst century ever to be
The
alive.
Black Death.
Well, you had a mini ice age, and then you had the Black Death.
No.
So you had famine, and then plague, and war going on all the fucking time. Of course, it's a 14th century. You know, a third of Europe dies, for God's sake. Like 60% of Brits die.
Jesus.
You know, I read a really terrible article this week where the BBC, of all people, claimed that black people in the 14th century were more susceptible to the Black Death.
Right.
How many black people do you think were knocking around England in the 14th century?
It wasn't just in England, though, was it, the Black Death?
No, they said specifically England
Oh,
in the article.
lots of slaves.
No, not that point, no. 14th century, no. You'd have been looking at, like, diplomats and merchants at best.
Sailors, perhaps.
Maybe a few sailors. That's poor, that, isn't it? And how'd you get that statistic anyway?
And all 6 of them didn't get the Black Plague.
Yeah. Well, they did, they were more susceptible to it.
Oh, right, yeah, more
But the
susceptible.
population, what I'm saying is the population of black people in Britain in the 14th century would have been completely negligible.
Yeah, all 6 of them got the Black Death.
Yeah.
They must be more susceptible to it.
Yeah.
They probably thought they'd have brought the Black Death.
On their ships, maybe.
Yeah.
It's true. It's a valid point.
I bet there was conspiracy theorists back then, weren't they? You know, where's this coming from?
Oh, it was the Jews. That's
Oh,
who
it
it
was
was.
the Jews,
It was
was
the
it?
Jews. The Jews were poisoning the wells, was the conspiracy theory at the time of the Black Death.
Maybe there wasn't enough, like, black people to...
To blame. There's plenty of Jews, we'll blame them instead, kind of thing. No, everyone always blames the Jews. But yeah, basically, the 14th century is shit. And it's at this time, you know, the Black Death spreading. 1/3 of Europe's entire population perished as a result of the pandemic. Some areas of the continent suffering far greater losses than others. The original outbreak of the plague occurred about 1347, and it lasted 3 years till 1351.
That's 4 years.
4 years. And outbreaks then reoccurred several other times. So clearly death was something the surviving Europeans had on their mind. And it is not surprising they conjured an image to represent it.
All dressed in black.
But why dressed in black? Why the scythe? Why the robe? Why a skeleton? Skeletons are symbolic of death, aren't they? Let's face it. Representing the human body after it's been decayed. And the robe is thought to be reminiscent of the robes that religious figures of the time wore when conducting funerary services. Or not, in some cases. There's a lot of all the good priests.
Still naked.
No, they all died tending to people.
Yeah.
So you were left with the dregs of the priesthood, and eventually the church at the time said, anyone can do the last rites because there's not enough priests.
Basically, the priests were like, we ain't going back out there.
They're all dead, or dead or hiding. One bishop, actually the Bishop of Shrewsbury, left to go to his nice cushy country retreat, and when he re-entered Shrewsbury after it was all over, was nearly beaten to death.
Bloody hell.
Yeah, they weren't happy. But yeah, the Grim Reaper, so, you know, we got the funerary services. The scythe is an apt image taken from agricultural practice at the time. What do scythes do? They reap, they cut people down, they cut loads of wheat down at a time, same as the plague did. Cut loads of people down at the same time. So
Reap and sow.
a
innit?
scythe,
doesn't it?
a scythe makes sense.
It is an awesome.
It's a pretty cool. You know what? I don't think there's been a bad show where Death's a character. Death's always kind of portrayed as kind of a cool character in the show. In whatever film or TV you watch.
Not a cock.
Alright, so where are you with the various gods of death?
I like Freya.
Praise be sweet.
I like their jewellery.
What, the heads,
Yeah.
the infants, the eyeballs?
Yeah, I'm into that.
Which god was that again?
Just you all look blank.
There's well, you had
Which god was that
the
again?
Hindu one had the eyeballs. The Aztec one had the Mayan one had the baby earrings.
That's right.
Wasn't there a tutu made of human arms as well somewhere? Yeah, so you're in it for the jewellery then, Claire,
yeah,
right?
I'm living for it.
Give me the old woman a cup of tea. That's all I want when I go out.
What body part are you choosing for your necklace?
The eyeballs, I
Oh,
like that
you
idea.
go with that idea.
No, go with the traditional ears.
What about a belt? Penis belt?
Penis belt, penis tutu.
Okay, penis
It's not going to be a very long tutu.
I say it's going to be very little.
It's not really much of a tutu, more a belt, really.
Yeah, it will be a belt, won't
A
it?
belt with a
Yeah.
fringe.
Couple of penis bracelets.
Yeah.
Are you going to have penises on as your necklaces?
No,
Or penis
on the
earrings.
eyeballs.
Penis earrings. that'd be
Penis
good.
earrings, yeah. You just pop
They're
it in your
worth
mouth,
it.
though.
Wait,
They're long
wait,
enough, you
wait,
just pop it in your mouth.
What?
If they're long enough, you just pop it in your mouth.
Well, you want to pop a dangling dead penis in your mouth?
She's a goddess of death.
In image.
She's a goddess of death, she knows she wants.
Oh, I like my penis earrings. Oh, let me suck it.
Goddess of death and fertility.
Who are you pleasing by doing that? Surely you wouldn't be pleasing yourself as the goddess, like a little wrinkled old fucking pickled penis.
Oh, you assuming it'd be one of the finest examples of the male organ, wouldn't you?
If that's how you're picturing it, that's
You're not
fine.
as a goddess of death, like, you're not gonna wear like fucking micro penises on your ears. Oh yeah, you're gonna have micro penis earrings. You're gonna have like fucking 12-inch dicks, aren't you? You're a goddess. You're the best.
Go home in it.
Yeah.
If that's how you want to picture it, Ben, that's fine.
Yeah, I'll stick with it.
I was going with withered little prawns.
Yeah. Mike, your favourite?
I've said.
The cup of
Meng
tea
Po
lady.
for me.
Oh yeah, the Chinese guys.
I do quite like Meng Po, actually, to be fair.
Claire.
Meng Po.
Don't go ordering Meng Po rice, Claire.
It's Freya and Meng Po for me.
Yeah.
I'm going for the voodoo goddess. She's great.
She's got a bit of everything.
She's got everything going for her.
It cures STIs and shit.
Yeah, yeah, damn right. Yeah, no, she's my favourite. I'll go with that. But I do think it's weird how every culture's got this one god whose job it is to shepherd you over or kill you in the first place.
It's all to do with like the human psyche and like wanting to that transition to be like smooth and not so scary.
Yeah. You want someone there to hold your hand, don't you?
Or they want it to be super scary, so then you sort of worry about death and sinning and all that.
People are good and behave.
Yeah, it's control.
It is control, you're right.
Oh,
That's the purpose
exactly.
of all religion, isn't it?
It's all in what it is. Yep.
You know, technically you class Satan as a demigod of death, wouldn't you? And he's the guy that rules the underworld, or the bad side of it. You know, you could class him easily as a demigod. Yeah. Food for thought. Right,
Fucked up facts.
let's do that.
Theme
Right.
tune, please.
Facts, fucked up facts.
It's been a while. Fucked up facts.
I've got a fucked up fact.
Go on then.
You consume a credit card's worth of microplastics every month.
Month? I
Yep.
thought that was a year.
Nope, it's a month. Credit cards worth of microplastics
Where am I getting them from?
everywhere.
In the food supply now, the water supply, and everything.
It's even in the rum.
As he takes a few good gulps.
But still, it's there. It's everywhere. Same as all the radiation in the air. Same as all the lead in the air.
As long as when my credit cards start pooping out, I can spend lots of free money on them. I don't mind.
If you want to go rooting for your own excrement for microplastics, you go for it.
Oh, what? You don't just poop out credit cards?
No.
Oh.
No, Visa haven't cornered that market yet.
No, they just build up in your organs and fuck you up.
So by that statistic, we must have like
You do
a
expel
few
some of it,
thousand-
of course.
let's have a good few thousand credit cards worth of plastic inside my body. by
You
now.
do expel a good chunk of it, but that's certainly how much you consume a month. Right, there you go. I've thrown one in. On you go, Mike.
The Pentagon is built on an old cannabis farm.
No way, that's ace.
I thought that was built ages ago, wasn't it?
Built like in the 20s, the Pentagon, something like that.
Cannabis has been around a while.
Yeah.
I suppose
Oh.
they were using a lot of hemp. In the 20s, they'd have been using a lot of hemp, wouldn't they?
Yeah, of course they would.
Not to smoke as such, but for building and what have you.
In
Paper.
fact, during World War II, there was a program called Hemp for Victory,
No, you're never going to win if you're all smoking hemp.
encouraging people to grow hemp for the war effort.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Loads of stuff can be made with it, can't it?
Rope, bedding, shoes,
Clothes.
food.
As long as you're not all smoking it, that's the main thing, or you're never going to win the war.
You can't smoke hemp and
We'll
get
go out.
wasted.
We'll go out after Sarge. Yeah, give us 10 minutes.
No, they grow the stuff that isn't.
Yeah, okay. Showing my own lack of knowledge.
Yeah.
But either way, hemp. We should grow more of it. Make underwear out of it.
You make planes out of it, houses.
I don't know if I want to fly in a
Cars.
plane made of hemp.
Well, apparently.
I mean, we're not talking
Right there.
jetliner, are we? We're talking like little thing with a single engine,
Yeah.
surely. We're not talking a.
Boeing 747.
We're not talking a
mate.
Boeing 747 Stratocruiser or something, are we?
No, it's like a private jet thing.
I could go for that.
Just a TriStar 737.
Oh, right. Fair enough.
But it could replace plastic, couldn't it?
Good.
Potentially, yeah.
The Schizophyllum commune fungus
Yep, know it well. Yeah.
Yep.
Interesting.
It has over 23,000 sexes.
That's nearly like the human race, isn't it?
We're
We're
catching
getting
up.
there.
Yeah.
How does it have any sex?
No, it doesn't have sex 23,000
I know, I'm
times.
just joking.
Now, how does that work then?
Well, yeah, so it doesn't matter how many sexes it's got.
God
does it?
knows.
I think that's a bit of a ridiculous fact, isn't it?
It's a fucked up fact.
How can that be?
I don't know, I'm not enough of a
Him.
microbiologist to understand. But I think I do know one. I'll reach out to him.
Give him a holler.
I might do. I'm sure he did it at university, although he's a teacher now still. Not microbiology though, just a teacher. So he must have the basics. We'll figure it out.
Oh, I thought you were talking about one of these microbe things.
Oh no, I don't know. I
I
might know
thought you
that.
knew one of them
I'm-
personally, like
Oh, I'm still thinking about the fungi. Can this bit only?
fungi. That's right.
Can that bit only sort of like reproduce with that bit that's the same sex or what?
It's a weird one, that, isn't it? How the
Yeah.
hell do they know? Like these. How do they even know if a fungi is a male or a female? It's not like they got big willies or anything.
Tells him.
Some of them look like big willies, but
I don't know, but there's got to be a way of doing it.
what weird, isn't it?
In Hamilton, Ontario, in 2022, it rained beans.
Was there an explosion at a bean factory?
Maybe. Soya beans
Well, it's just been lifted by heavy winds or
Probably.
a tornado or something in it.
from a field
Still,
or a warehouse or something.
quite freaky.
It's rained frogs and shit before, hasn't it? Now.
Yeah, it has.
Do you know how much it costs for the US president to travel
£7.63.
per minute?
Too fucking much.
I'm going to go with like £160,000 a minute. Dollars a minute.
Not quite that
I was going
much.
to say about $10,000 a minute.
$2,614
Still a lot.
per minute.
That's ridiculous. So per hour, that's
Times that by 60,
$120,000
Yeah.
per hour and some.
I suppose you've got Air Force One. Is the cost of that taken into account?
Yeah, it must
Maybe
be.
it's averaged out over the
Yeah.
year, I
Yeah.
guess. Like,
But then they build a new Air Force One every now and
You've
again.
got to pay for the security, haven't you?
Then all the security. Then you're going to have fighter escorts up with him, so they're burning fuel.
it's ridiculous, isn't it? Really,
Yeah.
it's just a man.
Yeah, but they kind of get assassinated quite a lot, don't they?
Well, they used to.
Yeah, used to. More so than
My
most of
God, we haven't had a good assassination.
the other Western countries.
Yeah. Been a while.
In 2023, Canadian residents were shocked to see an enormous phallic iceberg
Ha!
float past their hometown of Dildo.
Why didn't they capture it and like keep it there as a statue?
Wait, someone carved that and just let it drift.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, go on, let's send it right past Dildo. It'd be so funny.
Yeah, that's good. Like that.
In 2016, the head of MI6 said he wouldn't hire James Bond because he does not act ethically enough.
Oh, that's not a good trait to have in your secret intelligence service, is it?
He wouldn't have thought so.
Surely you want people to be unethical.
James Bond's got to be a bit unethical, hasn't he?
That's the point, yeah.
Yeah.
So why would you hire? Oh, he's too unethical to hire. What are you doing?
Well, that's the thing about you. You're at the top. You know you won't really know how unethical they are until the debrief, will you?
Well, that's it. Well, you'd
And
order.
depending on what's being
you'd-
said at
You'd
the
be
end.
you'd be ordering the hits, surely. As it's got to go to you. Your Q or M, isn't it
M,
usually? Yeah. Although it does change, depends on what your initial is. So I'd be B.
Hmm.
It would be C, P, and M. And just go on what your initial is, yeah. But even so,
Hughes name Quentin or something.
Q is for quartermaster.
Oh right, yeah.
1 in 4 currently charting pop songs in the UK samples an older song.
I can
Yeah,
believe it at the moment.
that's 100%
Yeah.
accurate. Definitely. I think it's ridiculous. I hate songs from now times. They are just rehashed bullshit.
What I have found quite fun is that Boney M's classic hit "Rah Rah Rasputin's" making a bit of a comeback.
Why is it making a comeback?
I've seen lots of Instagram reels of people dancing to it, not really cleverly, in a way that I could never dance. So I assume it's making a comeback. So you recognise the classic it is.
Mm-hmm.
Can anyone guess what third-class passengers on the Titanic were served for supper?
Some kind of stew.
Very close. Gruel.
Gruel! Sweet, nourishing gruel.
Oh.
Yeah, I guess it was sweet and nourishing, I guess. It's not compared to the fucking caviar and lobster you've got upstairs, though, is it?
I once made a spring onion soup, and like the kids were like, "That looks like gruel." We saw something like this on Horrible Histories or something. And I was like, "What?" They wouldn't eat it.
Not eating gruel, Mum. Oh, you know what? The third class on the Titanic was still as good as second class on other ships.
Was it?
Yeah, apparently so. In terms of accommodation.
Looked pretty tidy, didn't it?
Looked alright. Apart from the rats. You get more rats down there, wouldn't you? In towards the bottom of the ship.
I thought they'd put a few cats on before
That's
they.
where they put all the Irish in that, wasn't it?
No, it's third class travel, innit? You pay for your ticket. If you can afford second class and you're Irish, boom. You can afford first class and you're Irish, boom. But most people couldn't know. Not the Titanic. It's got a good story in it. Not the films. Well, apart from A Night to Remember.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, that is a good one. A Night to Remember, I think it's one of the sort of 1954 or something like that.
Black and white Titanic film.
I've never seen it.
Focuses more on the sinking and the individual stories rather than the love story that obviously the 1997 one
Got to
was.
see Kate Winslet buff.
You did. You didn't get to see any buff in 1954, admittedly. Just massive stiff upper lips.
Well, that was the only stiffy you saw.
Yeah, pretty much.
Fair enough.
Alright, we'll finish on this fact.
I'm not finishing on you for no fact.
Oh, too
You might
late,
worry when you
sorry.
find out what it is.
Oh, go on then.
Premature.
In 1805, British manufacturers made a chamber pot containing Napoleon's head.
Eh?
A chamber pot? With a
Oh,
little
I see.
Napoleon
The
inside.
piss pot.
No way, so you can piss on his face.
I love it.
And it was a 3D
I love it.
sticking up
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Man.
I'd be taking a shit in the chamber pot every night.
Well, you would do that. Was
You're
your
getting in
thing.
trouble. Keep telling you, stop shitting in it. It's only for pissing.
You could shit in a chamber pot, couldn't you?
Right.
I mean, it onk a bit, but
Didn't they used to put something over it and stick it under the bed?
I guess they would, you know. That's why it went under the bed. That's what they got called jerrys as well. In the World War II, chamber pots are called jerrys because they look like a German helmet that you piss in. But obviously in this scenario, it's 1805 and Napoleon's the bad guy. I must see that new film.
Looked quite good, actually.
I've heard it's not that good.
Really?
Yeah. Certainly not historically accurate.
I know Ridley Scott, I think it's Ridley Scott who directs it, isn't it? He's come under Sir Ridley Scott.
Well, it was filmed in Wales, so
He's
definitely not historically
He's come under a lot of criticism from various historical sources, and he's gone, "How do you know? You weren't there."
Oh no.
This is his
That's
main
not how
defence.
history works.
So, no, it's not.
Oh no, we found these ancient peoples. We don't know who they are. We can't look any further because we weren't there.
Not until we invent time travel.
Yeah.
Oh well. Alright, I think we'll end it there. Thank you very much for listening. This has been Gods of Death.
Ooh.
Which definitely should be a metal band name if it isn't already. It probably is. Thank you very much for listening. Follow us on Facebook at Cutting Through the Bull and the Post-Truth Apocalypse, YouTube Apocalypse Bull, and SoundCloud and Spotify and most other podcasting platforms as Cutting Through the Bull and the PTA. I've been Ben. Don't do the favour aid. Don't join a cult.
I've been Mike. Thanks for listening. Peace out. May the force be with you.
And I've been Claire. Keep an open mind, but not so open it spills out your ears.
And I've been Pete. Everybody have a nice week.
You see how he added gravitas to the force, may the force be with you because he's got a lightsaber now.